Hello and welcome to another edition of Spotlight SPS. I'm your host, Azell Cavaan, and I'm joined by Michelle Heim. Michelle is the Director of Wellness and Development for Springfield Public Schools. As you know, we focus so much on academics. That's a priority and a focus, but there's also a huge focus on making sure that we educate the whole child, and that's the work that Michelle gets to be a part of every day. As the Director of Wellness and Development, you deal with things like physical education and wellness and things like that, right? So thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
First and foremost. Let's first talk about what your work includes that touches all students in grades K through 12.
Great. So I have the wonderful opportunity to be leading health and physical education, K to 12, for Springfield Public Schools. And every year, students in Springfield Public Schools take physical education, and we are so excited to always be piloting new initiatives. So some of our schools have programs like Mindfulness. We have walking, biking programs. We have curriculum that includes snowshoeing. So all of our schools are doing different activities with the curriculum, but every student has the opportunity to take physical education every year.
So every year, a student is going to have a gym class, or maybe they don't call it gym anymore, it's physical education, right? Okay, so every year, a student does get a physical education class.
Yes.
And depending on what school you're at, what you're doing in that class might be different.
Correct.
Excellent. So that's K through 12. I know that there is some specific programming that some of the elementary, maybe even the middle and high schools have that are before and after programs to help kids stay active. Tell us a little bit about that.
So we're always trying to add additional opportunities for students to be physically active, and not just in sports. So a big part of our focus is to include opportunities for before and after school programming, and each school has the opportunity to participate in different activities based on facilities, based on the needs of the students, and based on the requests of parents and community members. So we have, some of our schools have walking clubs, some of our schools have biking clubs, some of our schools do yoga and mindfulness before and after school. So there's always these unique opportunities based on schools for students to be physically active, and not just in a traditional way.
Right. So if you're a parent and you wanted to learn to find out if your student's school is doing anything before or after, you would just check with your school, because as you said, it's not district-based, it's school-based.
Yes.
Excellent. So there's opportunities before school to get your kids moving, after school for kids to move, and then they've got that physical education class during school.
Yes.
I know that some of the work that you do is not about physical activity, but more about wellness and health. Tell me about some of the programming that affects, for example, high school kids. I know that there was a new curriculum implemented several years ago for those kids.
Yeah, so we're always trying to make sure that our students have everything that they need to leave high school, college, and career ready. So some of that includes additions to our health curriculum, and one of the new additions that we did 3 years ago was hands-only CPR. So we are teaching kids life-saving techniques that they can engage in if ever
they need to, which hopefully you won't, but if you do, you have those tools.
Yes.
And that would be at some point in grade 9 through 12 when you take health class, that would be incorporated into your health class.
Yes.
Learning CPR. Hands only, what does that mean?
So traditionally when people think of CPR, they think of mouth to mouth and then the chest compressions. But hands only is actually the American Heart Association's sort of new way to teach it. So you're doing the chest compressions, which is actually, they found, more effective.
Excellent. And I just wanted to back up a little bit, because you said something that kind of caught my attention, mindfulness. So is that yoga, meditation? What is that?
So the whole point of mindfulness is teaching kids techniques that they might need, if they need to de-escalate, if they need to just take a moment to relax and center themselves, whether it's, at the beginning of school. I know some of our schools, they take a mindfulness minute in the morning. So it's just an opportunity for students to, take a deep breath, prepare themselves for learning. It might be after they've had breakfast in the morning, or it might be after they're coming in from recess and they're all, excited about the time that they just spent. But it's really just a quick couple seconds for them to just, take a minute to relax and center themselves. Absolutely.
So, and it's just kind of like woven in through their day.
Right.
So
all of these touches that we're trying to incorporate, not just in health and physical education, but during the entire day. So these social emotional learning that we're just trying to embed all day. So it's not just, what they're doing in health and physical education, but it's across the curriculum.
It's overall wellness.
Yes.
I know that there's another program that just got approved by the school committee recently that your team is going to help schools to start implementing. Can you tell us about the Barrows Buddies?
Yes, so it's the Safe Routes to School, the Massachusetts Department of Transportation. We've partnered with them and other community members to focus on walkability, pedestrian safety, bicycle safety, so all students have these skills. Every student should have the opportunity to learn how to navigate the streets safely, effectively. So we are teaching this in second grade, and we're really excited about this new adoption. And we named it Barrows Buddies after Michelle Barrows, and that was something that we felt would really honor her legacy, and so everybody will remember her.
Absolutely. And I just think that's so wonderful because so often you're driving around and you see kids on the streets on bikes without helmets or without observing proper, rules of being on the road. So if you're learning this at second grade, hopefully it's a life skill that you'll take with you forever.
Right, and we can also incorporate these into the walking school bus. So those opportunities that parents have to walk with their students to school, to walk with a group of students to school, which is an opportunity for students and parents to socialize and really, build up the community.
There are several schools that have a huge walking school bus presence, and for those of you who don't know, the walking school bus is basically an opportunity for parents and kids who are making that walk to school in the morning to do it together. There are certain stops, like walking stops, just like a bus stop. You pick up more groups of people and you walk together so that it's almost like a community. There's safety in numbers, and it's great bonding time for parent and child when you're walking to school, too.
Absolutely. And everybody wants to make sure that their kids are getting there safely. And if we can all share the opportunity, if you can't walk your kid to school every day, you have the opportunity to have a neighbor and a friend bring your child to school.
Excellent. And I know that Springfield Public Schools is a part of a community effort that focuses on wellness as a community.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about our district's involvement and what the community is coming together to do?
We are so fortunate to be part of such a strong community of advocates for students, for the community, and we are so fortunate to be a part of a bunch of different coalitions, including Live Well Springfield, Transforming Communities initiatives, and these are just opportunities to engage with community partners, to collaborate, share resources, to really be involved, there's
tons of activities and initiatives that city partners have come together to put on. We actually have a great video that you all put together, and we're going to show that now for our audience, and I think it kind of summarizes some of the things that you were talking about. Like you said, we are so very blessed and lucky to have a community that puts wellness front and center.
Yes, and we are supported, and being a part of this every single day is such a great opportunity for not only families, communities, but us at the schools.
Excellent. So don't go anywhere, because when we return, we're going to continue talking about how we educate the whole child at Springfield Public Schools, and we will be joined by Julie Jaren, who heads up the arts department for the district. But first, stay tuned to see how our community is coming together to make sure our kids and adults are as healthy as possible. Michelle, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Azell. Springfield Public Schools serves over 26,000 students. I feel like some of the issues that Springfield faces and the children are facing is lack of access to fresh produce, food. Students face challenges about walkability in safe streets.
Sometimes some of these constituents have some real life things going on with them. Their child hasn't eaten, or the child hasn't had breakfast in the morning.
We're a city that's majority people of color, and the communities that we live in may not provide opportunities for us to have parks to go and walk and play in. Our streets may not be set up so that we can safely ride bikes with our kids.
Historically in the United States, people of color, especially African Americans, have been systematically denied access to opportunity. And you look today at where the people have worst health outcomes. We have disproportionate rates, high rates of preventable disease. So we are living the legacy of historical racism in the United States.
The city of Springfield faces many health challenges. Black and brown people are disproportionately impacted. We are a city that has many assets in terms of facing those public health challenges through our partnerships. Agencies and organizations doing wonderful work for the residents in the city.
In Springfield, we've been working together a really wonderful coalition called Live Well Springfield that's city staff from all the different departments, and then we've got our really active advocacy community, and we've been working together for 10 years. We're making huge progress.
I am the Mass in Motion coordinator here at the Springfield Department of Health and Human Services. The overarching sort of broad goals are healthy eating and active living. It was designed to be flexible to the needs of each community. Some of us are seated municipally like me, so I'm actually in the Department of Health and Human Services here.
Mass in Motion has been a big partner for us. We not only have made changes to our curriculum based on safe routes to school, but also creating opportunities for before and after school programming. We have the walking school bus, we have breakfast in the classroom, our open gyms is a big impact on our community.
The idea for open gyms had been around for some time, and then we've tried to grow the program each year. Mass in Motion has been very supportive of the program and indeed funded us for a couple of years, but we're trying to reach that group of young people who might not have a safe place to go after school and in the early evening hours.
We selected schools based on sort of need and locations. That sense of community that is built with the Open Gyms program. Parents are coming, teachers are coming, and it's free.
Open Gyms is a Mass in Motion initiative in terms of helping them pick the sites, and it just kind of built momentum.
I think one of the things that the kids get out of participating in Open Gym is building team, being a better person, and one of the things we encourage is that be a leader.
I could just be sitting, probably playing video games or like doing something I'm not supposed to be doing. But Open Gym, there's people that are good here, come here, play basketball. It's like, so like it opens me to a better environment.
What's cool is now the Parks Department and the school department do it pretty much by themselves. They just run it like a well-oiled machine. And that's a win, because that's what you want, right? You want to shove it off into the community and kind of let it fly. So I like to think of Mass in Motion actually as an incubator. We sort of incubate these initiatives, and then when they're strong enough, we kind of let them go.
I've been working on our school district wellness policy. When I took this job, I was like, oh, it's just a policy. But now I look at it as everybody coming together. It's not just a document. It is something that people are so passionate about, and these changes that we're making not only impact our students, but the community. In our policy, we've made changes, increasing the number of school gardens. Our breakfast in the classroom is now part of our wellness policy.
Kids are stopping for snacks. Before and after school, we want better choices for them at the small retailer level, for fresh products, for better products.
Environmental justice, social justice, these things are so important. This community is moving forward and making sure that we're living healthier, thinking wisely, and the best way to do it is just making sure that we're changing from the outside in.
Change is sometimes slow, sometimes frustrating. You want things to move a little bit faster than they are, but then you'll drive down the street and you're like, oh, there's the farm stand. Oh, that's the community garden. You can see the bikes. You can see the bike paths.
We're all starting to see what could be here. In 10 and 20 years, people will be saying, remember when we were in that bad slump? And we're setting expectations with young people. That's the biggest thing, is that there are teenagers and elementary school students who have grown up seeing this change, and so they expect it to continue.
Thanks for staying with us. And as promised, we are now joined by Julie Jaren. Julie is the Director of Visual and Performing Arts for Springfield Public Schools. So again, in talking about how we educate the whole child, Julie gets to focus on the arts aspects of the learning and development of our students. So this is March, and I know you always get excited around this time of year because it is Youth Art Month.
It is.
So and that's nationally, right? Mm-hmm. This is a time for the whole nation to recognize young artists. What do we do here in Springfield to do that?
In Springfield, we've been working really hard all across the district. K through 12 art classes have been putting together projects and beautiful pieces of artwork, both 2D and 3D. And we've compiled a huge amount of artwork so that we can display it. And the display this year, we were very, very lucky to have a community partner in Springfield Museums. And the artwork is now being displayed through the month of March. And it's going to be, and actually it is, at the George Walter Vincent Art Museum.
How exciting for our kids to have worked on art and to have it exhibited in a real art museum this year.
Right.
That's exciting. I want to ask you one thing. You said 2D and 3D art. What does that mean?
Two-dimensional and three-dimensional. So artwork that's on a flat surface that doesn't have any kind of protrusions,
like this?
Like a piece of paper.
Okay.
So an artwork that you would see on a canvas is a 2D piece of art.
Okay.
Or a 3D piece of art, which is three-dimensional, has shape and form that you can feel, like the coffee mug.
Okay. So all of that is on display at the museum, which Springfield residents, if you show your ID, get free entrance into Springfield museums. And so if you have a child who has artwork on display, nephew, niece, grandchild, friend, neighbor, get down to the museums and see that. Now, how many pieces of art are on display?
Approximately 500 pieces of art, so it's a lot, and what's even more exciting about it is that the student art is displayed right alongside masterworks of art, and so just seeing how that juxtaposition complements each other, it's really, really special, and the children were so excited in their art classes to know that their artwork is going to be placed right alongside a masterwork. It's special thing.
I absolutely have to get down there. I know you had an opening reception early in March, which I was not able to get to, but I definitely got to get down there. It's very exciting. How you mentioned the kids were excited in art classes because they knew their work was going to be displayed. Not everybody is an artist, so how did they learn how to do this? How did they put these pieces together?
We have masterful art teachers in our district, and so the students are so lucky to be able to work alongside and with an instructor that knows their craft, that uses the Massachusetts arts frameworks as standards-based instruction. So there's definitely benchmarks that students work with and the teachers understand and help them to reach certain goals each time that they're in that classroom. So they really do receive very specific visual art instruction that allows them to progress from one skill to the next skill, and it's scaffolded, and the children are able to then produce pieces of art.
It really is beautiful artwork as well. At Central Office, we have a rotating display that your department rotates every 3 months or so, and it's always so fun to walk around and see the new artwork when you guys put it up. And I actually have hanging in my house, actually in my son's bedroom, a piece of artwork from several years ago. It's a painting that a student did of Nelson Mandela. It's just absolutely beautiful. And also, I could speak as a parent because my son has taken art classes, and he's come home with, I remember one thing was a self-portrait. And I was like, who did that? Because he is not an artist. And he said, I did. And I was just blown away. So you're right, the teachers are doing a great job.
They are the best.
Yeah.
I'm ever so happy, and I know that the students benefit every day from having that visual art instruction.
And I just wanted to backtrack, 500 pieces of art. Who puts that together? Who determines where it's going to go? Who hangs it up in the museums? How does that mechanically work?
Well, the Springfield museums have been incredible. The staff at the George Welter Vincent Smith Art Museum have helped us to set the locations of all the display panels, and then the teachers themselves come in with all the artwork. So it's quite the endeavor, and we worked for a week long, and under the direction of myself and all the art teachers and the staff at the museums, we were able to make it all happen, and it's something to see.
So we have until March when to get down there and see that?
March 27th is the closing date. It ends at 5 o'clock, so make sure you get in there.
Down there. So that talks about the visual aspect of your department that you lead and what you do. What about the performing arts? What sorts of performing art programs do we have in the district?
In the district, we have music programs, both instrumental and vocal. We have theater programs that teach drama and acting and, set design and all the things that are associated with that.
Those productions are great. They're so entertaining.
They are, they are. And we also have a dance curriculum. So we have certified dance educators in the district that work with students on all kinds of dance.
Excellent. And one of the performing art programs in the district, which has been dubbed the Pride of Springfield, is housed at the High School of Science and Technology. It's the SciTech Band. Can you tell us a little bit about that band?
Sure. The SciTech Band has been widely recognized. It's grown from, I want to say about 12 years ago now. It was maybe 20 kids in the band, and now it's pushing 600 kids in that band. So under the direction of Gary Bernice and Carissa Lewith, and it's just amazing. The students oftentimes come in having not received a whole lot of music training.
Sometimes none.
Sometimes none. And they work together, and the kids put in so much effort, and the educators, the music educators, put in so much effort to bring the kids to a place where they're able to not only read the music, but perform it, and perform it at a high level.
Very high level. The performances are spectacular. I know that there's been a documentary made about the band. The band performs for the Basketball Hall of Fame annual event. And it's just, the band is so huge to direct that Mr. Bernice has to stand on a ladder sometimes to direct it.
He
so
does.
It's something to see. And of course, earlier when I was talking with Michelle, we talked about community partnerships because that's such an important part of what we do at Springfield Public Schools. And I'm sure there must be some partnerships that you have to help us get our arts and visual arts and performing arts underway.
Well, in visual arts, we've been very lucky, as I said, with the Springfield museums that offered us the space to have the exhibition, so that was wonderful. In the music department, we have a very, very appreciated and valued partner in Community Music School of Springfield. And together, Springfield Public Schools and the Community Music School of Springfield run a program called Sonido Musica. and Sonido Musica helps to bring music programs into schools that may not currently have music instruction. And they bring the instructors in, work with the students, and help them to have access to instrumental music instruction. And by the end of 3 years, most often, the school will then be ready to have a music program with a full-time music instructor, a certified music teacher that will be hired and continue that program with the wraparound support of the Community Music School of Springfield. So we've been lucky enough to have grown this program. We started with 4 programs of Sonido Musica about 5 years ago, and at this point, I believe we're in over 20 schools.
That's great. That's great.
Music programming is growing in Springfield. We're very appreciative of that.
That's great. I mean, so often you hear about the budget cuts that the district is always faced with. Districts across the nation are always faced with budget cuts, and the conversation is always around there needs to be physical education, there needs to be arts, and we're very lucky and blessed here at Springfield Public Schools that we have robust programs in each of those areas.
And Central High School actually is one of those programs that has really come up, and they're doing fantastic things both in art and in music. And I know that recently the percussion line won some state awards, and actually all Eastern awards. So it was very exciting to have that happen. The Chestnut Tag Band is doing amazing things.
Excellent.
Great. So across the district, many music programs are really doing well.
Excellent. And it's springtime soon, so we should be hearing about spring productions that are going to be underway.
Sure.
And hopefully folks will get a chance to get out and see those. Definitely get to the Springfield Museum and see our students' artwork that's on display until March 27th. So thank you for joining us for another edition of SPS Spotlight. I hope you learned a little bit about what we're doing to educate the whole child here at Springfield Public Schools. Thanks for joining.